October 28, 2025, Jamaica is under attack. An island paradise now faces the full fury of a Category 5 hurricane. Devastating winds reaching 185 miles per hour, a force of nature unlike anything the nation has ever seen. Nearly 3 million people, both locals and visitors, are trapped as the monster storm unleashes its fury across the island.
Come! Come over here, Shabir! Come! Don't move from here, Jesus Christ! Come, girl! Come! Run, come! Jesus Christ! Come! Alright, go! Jesus Christ!
Ferocious winds rip through family homes and businesses, followed by deadly floods that swallow homes, roads, and vehicles.
Not only is this one of the strongest thunderstorms in the Atlantic Basin, by far it is the strongest hurricane to ever hit Jamaica. Nothing's come even remotely close to this.
The staggering reality of the devastation is sinking in 3 days after Hurricane Melissa tore through Jamaica as a Category 5 storm.
Wish I could explain the pain. It just too much.
Every picnic I have no clothes, we not water, we not food. We hungry, we are starved.
And I just want to walk you through this devastation because in person, it takes your breath away. You see this brick structure, been here a long time. Jared, look at that. There is nothing left. The entire interior and the roof collapsed down on it.
When you finally get to the town of Black River through the murky floodwater, the avenue of twisted bamboo stalks, you understand why authorities are calling this place Ground Zero.
Jamaica need help, man. We mash up. First, we never histories in our life. First, we see this in life, man.
This 300-year-old church hollowed out. But for many, there is no way out of this.
It is heartbreaking. I never thought in a million years that I would be in this situation, trying to get help, and with little to no communication, we can't reach no officials, no emergency teams, and I'm hoping and praying that help can reach us soon.
The entire island has been declared a disaster area. Today, Jamaican officials said it is still unclear how many people may have died.
And we begin with an item of news just in. Police sources confirming that there have been 18 deaths so far directly connected to Hurricane Melissa.
There is something in the people, something in the sand, there's something in the air.
In Jamaica, you can run in the sand or compete on the track. You can make friends or make fans. You can cool off in the mountains or you can move there.
Help me big up Jamaica. We are one to Jamaica.
Nestled in the heart of the Caribbean, Jamaica is a small island with a powerful spirit. Nearly 3 million people known for their resilience, rhythm, and pride.
We do big things here.
September 9th, 1988, Jamaica. A couple strolls along the beach at sunset, unaware that this peaceful evening will be their last taste of normalcy for a long time to come. That night, on JBC television, meteorologist Jacqueline Forbes delivers a warning.
We see our latest tropical storm, Gilbert.
A tropical storm named Gilbert is churning in the Atlantic, moving at 60 miles per hour. In just a few days, that distant storm would evolve into one of the most powerful hurricanes ever recorded in the Caribbean. As Gilbert strengthened, its winds roared to 160 miles per hour, carving a path of destruction through the Cayman Islands, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti, before setting its sights on Jamaica. September 12, 1988, Hurricane Gilbert slammed into Jamaica.
John Crane has been seeing some of that devastation up close. From Jamaica, John has the first of 2 reports.
Hurricane Gilbert tore through their homes. Schoolhouses were crushed. It was a frightening experience.
The first thing that went was a pear tree, one by one. The tree just fallen.
But Sidney Lewis was not so lucky. This is what's left of the house he was born in 74 years ago, the only home he's ever known.
It's a total loss for me, please. It is a total loss for me. I've never run through this before.
Ceiling gone, everything gone. Damage complete.
Their home was ripped apart by the hurricane.
Everything's wet.
Everything's wet. Everything.
From east to west, the storm unleashed a trail of destruction that left hundreds of thousands homeless and entire communities unrecognizable.
Help does not come for a day or so, even from within the country, because the roads are blocked, they have to be cleared, transportation has to be gathered, and so on. And so people really have, for the first few hours, to depend on their own initiative.
Basic necessities vanished. No clean water, no power, no way out. At least 2 hospitals suffered severe damage.
2 hospitals in particular were badly devastated. The Princess Margaret in the east and Lucy Hospital in the west were badly damaged. Their bed counts were more than halved after the hurricane. And some of the big facilities were quite seriously damaged as well. The Kingston Public Hospital, Cornwall Regional Hospital, and the University Hospital were seriously affected, both in terms of their bed count and in terms of other services like the routine outpatient services and specialist consultation services.
Health facilities didn't really have a mass casualty situation. It was the public health aspects that we had to monitor very closely because there was no electricity supply, water supply, and the environmental health situation in general needed close monitoring.
In the end, more than 40 Jamaicans lost their lives. Hurricane Gilbert is remembered by generations as one of the most powerful and destructive storms ever to devastate Jamaica. In the early 2000s, Jamaica would once again find itself in the crosshairs of nature's fury. After Hurricane Gilbert's devastation in 1988, many hoped the island would never face such destruction again. But the calm wouldn't last. In September 2004, Hurricane Ivan, a Category 4 storm, carved a deadly path just south of the island. Ivan's winds tore rooftops from homes, uprooted trees, and unleashed massive waves along the southern coast. Entire communities in the parishes of Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, and St. Catherine were swallowed by floodwaters.
Okay, around this corner, coming up pretty soon. Claremont, here.
go right over the top till you get to the crest. And then we'll make a right down into Hope Pastures, cross through Hope Pastures, hit Hope Road, and go on up. So everywhere there are signs of this hurricane, everywhere. So this is the home of my high school track coach, Herb McKinley. Yeah, just pull around there. Is that zinc from the roof that's lying there? Just stop this one.
17 Jamaicans lost their lives, and thousands were displaced. For weeks, the country struggled without power, food supplies, or clean water. Ivan left behind a nation battered, but not broken. 3 years later, in 2007, Hurricane Dean followed a hauntingly similar path.
The storm has maximum sustained winds of at least 145 miles an hour and is expected to dump at least 20 inches of rain on Jamaica alone.
The newspaper pretty much tells the story yesterday in the stores. I think you can read this at home on our video phone. Dean sparks panic buying. We were out at the stores and it was just a mob scene. Tuna fish, milk, bread, and also batteries tended to be the hot items yesterday.
Quite frankly, I don't think Jamaica is prepared for it, and I'm really worried that with our drains not clean and that sort of thing, that there will be a lot of flooding. Also, a lot of roofs may go as well, so I'm really very worried.
Passing just 25 miles south of Jamaica, Dean brought Category 4 winds, torrential rain, and widespread destruction. Homes and hospitals were damaged, crops flattened, and communication lines severed.
And describe what it was like as you went from early afternoon to late afternoon.
Yeah, Adam, as we often see with these systems, the weather goes downhill very, very quickly, almost exponentially, just boom, it's gone. We had some sunshine until early afternoon. We had one rain shower blow through, the sun came back out. But around 3, 4 o'clock here, the first band came through and that ushered in the higher winds. That one brought wind gusts of 30 to 35 miles an hour. And then the next band, and then they all just came in succeeding waves.
The island's agricultural backbone, the banana and sugar industries, suffered crippling losses, sending shockwaves through the economy. Hurricane Ivan and Hurricane Dean would stand as grim reminders that Jamaica's battle with the elements was far from over. Each storm tested the island's resilience, but even those storms paled in comparison to what was coming next. In 2024, a new name would enter the history books.
Headed toward Jamaica. That's up next. A landfall possible tomorrow. Landfall is actually getting a little more likely as the track takes it right over the island, down the middle track. But even if it was a little farther south, it could be even a worse situation because the island would be in the what we call the northern eye wall, the right side of the track for an extended period of time.
The deadly hurricane is taking aim at Jamaica right now. Government officials there say the situation is dire as Hurricane Beryl moves through the Caribbean, now at a major Category 4 strength. Jamaica's prime minister is already declaring the entire island a disaster area.
A ferocious and deadly Hurricane Beryl heading straight for Jamaica, bringing potentially life-threatening flash floods and storm surge up to 9 feet. Already decimating several Caribbean islands since making its first landfall Monday.
Just come over here and take a look. It's a bit of an obstacle course trying to get around parts of the island this morning. Road crews are trying as quickly as possible to clear the area. There are downed trees, dangling power lines. The electric company says at the height of the storm, hundreds of thousands of people were in the dark.
Even without making landfall, the storm's outer bands brought flooding rains and hurricane-force gusts to parishes from Kingston to St. Elizabeth. Power lines snapped. Roofs were peeled away. Entire fishing villages were cut off by rising tides. And hundreds of tourists were stranded as airports shut down and roads disappeared beneath water.
It delivered more of a glancing blow than a direct hit in the end. But those who lived through this storm won't forget it anytime soon. Are you scared?
Yeah.
We were scared. It was terrible. Strong wind, building tearing down, all them stuff.
We're still alive. Nobody no get no hurt. That is the greatest.
Are you worried that more storms might be on their way?
Yes, because this is the earliest time we ever get. We never look for a storm so early. But as them say, God works, so we can't do nothing.
The general election date is fixed at Wednesday, September 3.
In September 2025, the nation went to the polls in a tense election showdown between major political parties, the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party. The JLP claimed victory, securing a third consecutive 5-year term for its leader, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, who promised to fight crime, fix roads, and create jobs. Despite campaigning in the heart of hurricane season, neither party outlined a clear plan for how Jamaica would prepare for a major hurricane. Preparedness is key because natural disasters cannot be prevented. Even predicting when and where the storm will hit is not accurate. October 2025, meteorologist Brian Shields watches a new tropical system brewing deep in the Caribbean Sea.
Watching this, all eyes on this, of course, trying to become Melissa. That is the next name on the list.
Over the next several days, the system strengthens rapidly.
Also developing right now, Tropical Storm Melissa dumping flood rains across the Dominican Republic as it continues to sit over the Caribbean.
Tropical Storm Melissa is expected to rapidly strengthen into a powerful hurricane as it churns across the warm waters of the Caribbean.
Is more and more likely. Where it goes, still in question, as we well know. Looks to be a little bit closer to Jamaica and potentially as a hurricane late in the weekend for the upcoming weekend. So that's not better news for Jamaica.
Jamaica would be the first to face its wrath as Melissa grows into a Category 4, then a Category 5 hurricane. The general consensus among forecasters is that Melissa will make landfall near Kingston, prompting residents across the capital to brace for impact.
For a closer look at how Jamaica is preparing for the worst, let's turn now to CBS's Jason Allen in Kingston, the capital.
There are some parts of the city where they are still racing to prepare for this storm tonight. Work crews are out in a gully that is filled up with silt and sand and debris. They are afraid that feet of rain could overwhelm these gullies and overflow into neighborhoods.
But in a shocking twist, the storm begins to shift westward.
The track has shifted west overnight. So this time yesterday, the hurricane was expected to turn and make a hit kind of in the central Jamaica area. At this time, it's not really validating. The hurricane is now appears by model data and the National Hurricane to be making a western Jamaica hit.
As Hurricane Melissa's path shifts, panic sweeps across the island. Tourists race to escape, desperate to board the final outbound flights. But many are forced to ride out the storm as airports shut down and flights are canceled.
They should have been walking through RDU on Sunday. They had flights originally scheduled at 2 p.m. out of Jamaica, but 2 hours earlier, those flights were canceled when those airports shut down in Jamaica, meaning they would have to ride out the storm.
Jamaica has never had a Cat 5. Please pray for us here.
My fellow Jamaicans,
Prime Minister Andrew Holness delivers a final warning.
To be affected by hurricane conditions, meaning heavy rains and winds above 100 miles per hour. We can expect general flash floodings across the island. However, low-lying areas, coastal areas, river courses, gullies, and other waterways will overflow either from excess rain or storm surges. Extended rainfall and heavy rainflows will also trigger landslides in hilly areas. Buildings and activities in or along those waterways or hillsides will be at high risk of damage, complete displacement, and loss of life. Hurricane winds will most certainly damage roofs and compromise some structures. By all assessments of the current situation, while we pray for the best, hour by hour, it is becoming apparent that the impact of Hurricane Melissa would be greater than Hurricane Beryl, certainly in terms of rainfall and flooding. While we must prepare for the worst, let us also pray for the best. In every adversity, we have found strength, not only in our resilience, but in the power of prayer.
In the early hours of October 28th, Kingston trembles under Melissa's outer bands.
This is in Mandeville, Manchester, in Jamaica at the moment.
Got the word there from the National Hurricane Center that this has made landfall just now. This is near New Hope, Jamaica, as of about 1 o'clock, with maximum sustained winds at 185 miles per hour. Not only is this one of the strongest thunderstorms in the Atlantic Basin, by far it is the strongest hurricane to ever hit Jamaica. Nothing's come even remotely close to this. Gilbert was the closest one that had 130 mile per hour maximum sustained winds. It was a Cat 4 came in on the east side of the island back in the 80s. This has 185 mile per hour winds, not 130. So this is doing exponentially more damage.
Jesus Christ! Hello! Come! Come over here, so girl, come! Girl, move from Jesus Christ! Come, girl, come! Run, come! Jesus Christ! Come! Alright, go! Jesus Christ!
Okay, thanks. I'm gonna try to.
No man, this is a life man. This is start look, lad. Tell them, mad over this people. You know your brains on this blow man. Sorry man, look at one place shut. Come on, fire here. Mad. Let it get fire for a great storm. So we are gonna pray for the people. Pray for it, please. Pray for it.
October 29th, daylight reveals the full scale of Melissa's fury. Homes leveled, businesses destroyed, lives changed forever.
It was worse. It was worse than anything I ever went through. So 170 some miles an hour. It's bad.
Every bit of that.
Every bit.
Tonight, Jamaica's coastline battered, communities completely destroyed. In the hard-hit town of Black River, roofs were blown off 90% of buildings.
This is the challenge that people have when they're trying to get back to their homes. The roads are almost completely taken out here by rivers, by trees, by other debris. And that's why the emergency services as well are finding it so difficult to get to the worst affected areas.
The historic St Thomas Anglican Church in Lacovia, with its beautiful stained glass windows now hollowed out.
It takes your breath away, and it is remarkable. And we'll come over here, and this tour will give you an idea of exactly the hell that everyone here went through. Look at this church, if you can. Jared Maloney, meteorologist, field producer behind the camera. You see this brick structure, been here a long time. Jared, look at that. There is nothing left. The entire interior and the roof collapsed down on it. There is a desperate need for water and food and supplies. Helicopters need to land here. Vehicles need to find their way in here through the compromised and destroyed roadways in the mountains. In the mountains, all the vegetation is gone. It is bare.
No, well, this was a business place, but the sea broke out the wall and empty out everything on the land.
The Jamaican government says Hurricane Melissa has killed at least 19 people after it struck the island nation earlier this week. Search and rescue efforts are continuing in the worst hit areas.